Hi Aries, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you have been here before, then welcome back. This is a reading, it's not timed. This is a timeless reading, let's just say, for the sign of Aries. So that could be Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising, or if you have heavy Aries aspected in your chart. We're just going to get straight into it, Aries, see what kind of energy is coming up for you. And yeah, just roll with it, really. I've already pre-shuffled the cards, so we're just going to get straight into it. Okay. So we've got the Eight of Pentacles here, Aries, which tells me that you've been working really hard at something at the moment. The Eight of Pentacles really talks about perfecting a skill or a talent or a craft of some kind. The Eights are mutable earth energy, basically. The Eight of Pentacles is mutable earth energy, but this really talks about gaining strength when it comes to employment, gaining strength when it comes to finances, just putting yourself in a really powerful position at the moment. I do see that you're manifesting something, so you're working really, really hard at something to try to bring it into fruition. This is Virgo energy, okay? So you could be dealing with a Virgo, but it really just talks about practicality, you know, making things, taking action to make things come into being, basically. The Eight of Pentacles is a very studious card, so you could be studying very hard at the moment. You could really be examining things, paying close attention to things, experimenting, seeing what works for you, seeing what doesn't. But it's all with the means of progressing, basically, progressing the self and progressing your current position. It can talk to employment as well. So maybe you're kind of working really hard in regards to your current employment or in regards to a business. But either way, however way it goes, because, you know, it will be different for everybody, this really is a card of grounding yourself in the now, taking those positive steps forward in order to manifest something, in order for, you know, to bring something into being. If you look in the card, you can see this girl and she's sat at a desk, you know, and it's almost like she's got everything there in order to create this, create this spell, basically. It's almost like spell work, you know. I feel like someone may be under a spell. So I'm hearing like hyper-focused. So someone could be really hyper-focused at the moment with a task or with something that they're trying to develop, basically. It's covered by the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords really talks about indecision. It talks about not really knowing which way to go. It talks about not really seeing things for what they really are. There may even be important tasks or important things that you're not really paying attention to. So again, I'm going back to this hyperfixation. You're hyperfixated on something at the moment, but because of this, you're actually ignoring a lot of stuff that you need to be paying attention to. This is stuff of importance. I think you know the importance of what it is that you're avoiding, but it's kind of weighing heavy on you, to be honest with you. So you're distracting yourself with work. You're really focusing and zoning in on whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, and you may be leaving a few key details out, or you may be avoiding some important aspects, let's just say, of whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. You're not really paying attention to everything that you need to pay attention to. So there could be a sense of struggle here. There's a need to make a decision. Okay, so you may be avoiding trying to make some type of decision with regards to where you want to take your profession, where you want to take your skills and your talent. You're not really sure where to place yourself yet, is what I'm hearing. So it's almost like you're possibly spreading yourself thin when it comes to different platforms or it comes to different avenues. It's almost like you've got your fingers in too many pies and you're not really sure which way to go with it, or, you know, there's a bit of indecision. I feel like you're really trying to see which avenue works best for you. Okay, so this is where we were saying about paying close attention to something, you know, to the particulars, to the details, experimenting. You know, you're undecided at the moment which way to go with it. Okay, so it's not really, this is not talking about your actual skill set. It's kind of touching on where am I going to put this skill set? Which avenue do I need to go down? So, for example, do I want to be employed? Do I want to be self-employed? Do I want to teach with this knowledge that I have, or do I want to offer it as a service? Do I want to create a product with these ideas, or do I want to sell the ideas for somebody else to create? It's almost like that. So it's, excuse me, you may be struggling with communication at the moment, actually, as well. So you may not be communicating clearly your ideas, your concepts. You may be struggling to communicate them in a way that people understand. Just something going on with communication, because I'm struggling to speak now. We've got the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Now, the Queen of Swords is someone who is usually very decisive, very analytical. This is someone who you may even work in a lab of some kind, I'm hearing, with chemicals or some kind of medicines, vaccines, really trying to, it's almost like you're really trying to find, it's almost like, okay, so you've created something. Let's just say you work in a lab and you're creating some type of medicine, but you're having to fill that, what's the word? That combination. It's almost like you need a filler, but you're struggling with what to fill it with. Does that make sense? It's almost like you're trialing and you're trying out different things, but I'm really hearing some type of lab, some type of science of some kind, medicinal even. This is your job. This is what you do. This is your profession. So you may be, a scientist, I'm getting. If it's not a scientist, I'm just hearing like someone very analytical, someone who really looks at the data, looks at the facts, looks at the figures, really does a research, does her work, his work, either way. But I'm really thinking about this Queen of Swords energy. The Queen of Swords is someone who is really kind of invested. They're trying to find a sense of balance and harmony and something that works. Okay, so other people are being indicated here. So you may be experimenting with other people. There may be other people that you work with that are kind of contributing to this, to whatever it is that you're manifesting, okay? This could even be a product, okay? So I'm hearing like a product. So you could actually be trying to manifest a product, or, you've developed a product, but you're kind of in those final stages. You're really at that stage where you're trying to perfect it and bring it all together. You're missing a couple of key bits of information, okay? So you're really researching at the moment. You may be kind of going out into the field and actually asking people, what do you want to see, or what do you want to come from this, or, really trying to get that feedback is what I'm trying to say here. This Queen of Swords energy is very much about, trying to find that harmonizing balance, that middle ground, really. This is someone that's really kind of focused on the facts and the figures, like I've said. So I'm really picking up some type of research here. I feel like maybe you're not asking the right questions. You're not asking the right questions, or maybe you're approaching the wrong demographic or something like that, because you're missing something with this Two of Swords. It's almost like it's right in front of your face, but you're really just kind of not seeing it. We've got this Knight of Wands here now. This is showing up in your past. Now, the Knight of Wands is someone who is kind of here, there, and everywhere. They have a bit of a bad reputation for being a bit untamed, a little bit wild, a little bit, they're known as the players, the bad boys of the tarot. But really, the Knight of Wands really speaks to someone with a lot of experience, a lot of life experience. They're not somebody that sits around and, with the thumb up the backside, not really doing anything. This is experience that's been gained throughout the life. So I really feel like you're using that. So whatever it is that you've learned in the past in regards to some of the experiences that you've had, it's developed a strength of character, I'm hearing, and you've decided to turn that into something. You've decided to really kind of get your head down and think about, what is it that people want? What is it that can help people? What is it, and now I'm hearing some type of course creation, creating some type of course or some content to a degree, but it's based on your experiences, your life experiences. But this could be where you're really getting in your head and going back over those details. Sorry, it's focuses because I like really going back over those details, really kind of, there's a very reflective energy going on here as well. I feel like this is something that you're developing from the heart space. You want this to be true. You want this to have a piece of you in it. It's not something, it's not like a trend, okay? I'm not hearing like it's you're doing it because it's in fashion. This is something that is really a part of who you are. It's something that's based on your life experiences. And it's, you're putting it out there, you're developing it, and it's because you want to help other people. You want to give other people I'm hearing like a way out or a sense of healing or something youthful. You want to be youthful. This is very much connected to your purpose, you know, you trying to find your sense of purpose in life. We've got the Fool here, and the Fool really talks about risking it all. It really talks about, you know, opening those arms and saying, look, this is me. You know, there's a very freeing energy that comes with the Fool. The Fool is not an energy that's heavy, you know, and hard to deal with. It's very kind of haphazard and a little bit like, you know, you're throwing caution to the wind and you're saying, F it, basically. I'm ready to take the risk. I'm ready to put myself out there. There's a childlike spontaneity. I'm getting this excitement. You're really excited to do this. Whatever this endeavour is that you're kind of putting your all into, because you are putting your all into it, absolutely. I just feel like there's something that's a little bit off. You're not really... there's something that you're missing. We can go into that. I'll pull some clarifiers, but the Fool card really is the only card here that's of the major arcana. So you are being heavily influenced by Fool energy at the moment, which is basically telling you to take that risk, you know, take that leap of faith, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid of what's to come. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Don't let people hold you back. This is a card of Uranus, and Uranus is a little bit unexpected. So I do feel like something unexpected is kind of going to fall in your lap pretty soon. You're not going to be, you know, you're not going to expect this. Basically, this is something that just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's going to take you by surprise, and it's because you've taken this risk. You've decided, like, F it, basically. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You've been working really hard on something. You've been doing a lot of research. You're very knowledgeable, I'm hearing. Excuse me. Again, this communication thing. I don't think that you're communicating whatever it is that you're trying to sell, whatever it is that you're trying to raise an awareness of. It's almost like you're struggling. That may be what it is that you're indecisive about. That may be what it is that you're missing. You're not really sure how to market this situation. You're not really sure how to... Again, I'm just getting like this demographic or this certain field, you know, this certain market that you're trying to get into. It's almost like you know what you need to be doing. It's something that's very dear to your heart. It's something that you're ready to risk it all. You know, it's almost like you're that committed to it that you're saying, whatever comes, I'm ready for it. But it's almost like you're really struggling to direct it or to direct it at a certain demographic or a certain set of people or a certain group of people. Maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe you're not supposed to do that. You know, maybe you're supposed to put your products out there, put your course out there, put whatever it is that you're trying to manifest out there, and, you know, let the universe be your guiding force, is what I'm hearing. Let the universe, let the people speak on what it is that they want. Let them have their individual opinions on it, rather than you. It's almost like you're trying to foresee. You're trying to foresee when really what you need is the feedback. You know, once you get that feedback, that's when you can start making adjustments. I don't think now's the time for adjustments. I think now's the time for just, you know, getting it out there, basically. We've got the Page of Pentacles coming up for you as well. Now, the Page of Pentacles really talks about learning a new skill. So this is brand new to you. You know, you're not going to have all the answers. You're really not. This is something that you're developing. You know, the pages really talk about learning. They talk about, you know, taking things as they come, especially the Page of... Oh, this lighting's terrible, sorry. Especially the Page of Pentacles. If you can see here, you know, this is someone that's really trying to remain grounded and rooted in whatever it is that they're doing. You know, but they are looking towards the future, and it's almost like I don't think that you're making much money from whatever it is that you're doing at the moment. I do think it's in its early stages of development, but you've worked so hard on whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Don't be afraid to put it out there, you know, let people speak, let people be the voice that you need to hear, you know, that confirmation of, yes, this is great, you know, this is not so great. It's almost like you're trying to perfect something. Without that feedback from others, without that, you know, them inputting into this situation. But you need that feedback. That's really what's going to help you direct and steer this thing, and really perfect it, you know, get rid of all the crap that you don't need whilst preserving all that gold. You know, it's like preserving that gold. Some of you could be jewelers, some of you could be working with jewelry of some kind, or, you know, something like that. Just going to see what this Two of Swords is here, because I'm not really sure what it is that you're missing. Ten of Swords. Okay, so the Ten of Swords talks about a painful ending. There may be situations that you're not wanting to revisit, but it's almost like Spirit's saying those are the times that really taught you what it is that you know, all those experiences that were difficult to manage, all those experiences that are really difficult to revisit and look at. Those are the experiences that have really taught you the most, you know, really kind of try to get back into that skin. You may be trying to avoid that. Okay, so the ideas come off the back of some hardship. I'm feeling the ideas come off the back of some hardship. Okay, and you know you feel a sense of purpose to assist other people, to help them, to really kind of be that voice of reason and say, look, I know what you're going through. I've been through it myself. Okay, but it's almost like you're missing something, and it's because you're not willing to revisit. You know that you've learned a lot from your experiences, these past experiences, you know, have had you all over the shop, all over the place. Like, you know, you've met so many people, you've done so many things. But this situation has developed from hardship. So this is what you're missing. You're really kind of forgetting where you've come from and where you've been. And that's why that's what's lacking. You really need to revisit those places again. I know it took a lot for you to walk away from all the betrayal, all the hardship, you know, all the daggers that were thrown at you. You know, it's just, this is not, you know, this is kind of like the end of the road. You turned your back on something, you really did. You didn't want to deal with it again. You didn't want it to rear its ugly head. But the fact of the matter is, because you're avoiding this, it is a little bit henpecky. It's a little bit henpecky, and it's because Spirit's trying to get your attention and say, no, these are the things that we showed you. We showed you them for a reason. You know, this is what you need to remember. You need to really kind of sit in that energy, because that's what's going to propel you forward. That's really going to be the selling point of whatever it is that you're producing. You know, all this hard work really doesn't mean anything unless you invest yourself into it. And by avoiding the experiences that you've been through in the past, that's really kind of nullifying this whole experience. You need to kind of develop enough strength to be able to revisit these hardships, revisit these hard lessons, you know, really pull that knife out of your back, and really look at it and analyze it and pay close attention in order to extract some information from it. These hard lessons that we go through in life, they're to teach us something. We don't get shown these things because Spirit's evil and it just wants to hurt us. That's not how it works. It's for our own benefit. It's for our own personal growth. It's for our own development, mentally, emotionally, physically, on all levels. So in order to really manifest this, in order for this to be a success, because when I was pre-shuffling, I did have the Ten of Pentacles. I also had the Two of Pentacles again, so it's this sense of imbalance. The Ten of Pentacles is a card of material success, so I do think that it's coming for you, but you really need to know how to work with the elements. You really need to know how to work with the good and the bad, you know, the ups and the downs. It's not just, you know, it can't just be plain sailing. You know, that's not really how things work. You need to be able to weigh up pros and cons and say, look, okay, this is what I went through, but this is what it taught me. And that's really going to be your unique selling point. That's really what's going to get people to invest into you and what it is you're creating and you're manifesting. So I've got some Kipper cards here, and the Kipper cards really, you know, this is just for like additional clarification, let's just say. I'm just going to pull a few of these cards and a few cards from the deck that I created to get some more messages from there. This is a very positive reading, to be honest with you. This tells me that you've been working hard at something and you're almost there. But in order to really get to the seed of what it is that you're creating, you need to be prepared to revisit some of the darker times in your life. You don't have to live there, but really just look at them and say to yourself, you know, when I was experiencing this, what is it that I wanted? What is it that I wanted from other people? You know, if there was a service, what kind of service would have been helpful? You know, something like that. Let's say, for example, if you went through something that was quite debilitating physically, let's just say you was in an accident, you know, for whatever reason. Let's just say, what kind of product would have been really helpful for you at that time? Because by revisiting that, that's really what's going to be your unique selling point. You've experienced a lot for a reason. So use the lessons of the past, because that's really going to help you in whatever it is that you're creating for your future. So yeah, in the past, sorry, not in the past, but in the Kipper deck, we've got Despair, Courthouse and Thief. So I do feel like there could be a tendency for somebody to try to steal your ideas. You may be taking somebody to court. I'm seeing a patent now, so you may want to get your ideas patented. You may want to get them, you know, you might, you know, just legalities basically I'm seeing. We've got Despair here. So again, this really talks about the hardships of the past. You know, really kind of get into that energy of, you know, what was it like when you was down and out? What was it like when you were struggling? What is it that you needed? What would you have appreciated at that time? Because them thinking in that way is really going to give you the ideas that you need. It's really going to kind of make it very personal. This is already personal, but it's almost like this is really going to, you're going to be able to sell yourself because you are solid in what you're selling. Because you've done this analysis, you've really kind of gone deep and said, I've been through this, and when it was happening to me, this is really what I needed, this is what I wanted. I do feel like there has been some dodgy behaviour. You know, you may have had some dodgy people in your life. We've got this Thief card here. So this is where I'm really seeing this, you know, somebody trying to steal your ideas, somebody trying to really kind of pull the wool over your eyes. So be careful who you're speaking to. Again, with the communication, the throat chakra, that's what it was. So be careful who you're talking to, be careful who you're sharing your ideas with at the moment. Be careful, you know, when people are asking you questions, just don't be disclosing too much. You know, this could possibly be used against you. Okay, so I'm hearing keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And then we've got Courthouse. Now, Courthouse really talks about legalities as well. So I've been getting this a lot in some readings that I've been doing about non-disclosure agreements. So make sure that the people that you are disclosing information to, that you trust them, you know, potentially get them to sign something, potentially get them to sign an agreement that says, you know, this is our creation, this is my creation. Anything that's disclosed cannot be used or cannot be used against me, you know, things like that. You know, there is somebody that's really kind of out to get you at the moment with this Thief card. It's almost like they want to take your wealth, or they want to take your, you know, and wealth doesn't have to be money. You know, wealth can be ideas, wealth can be a multitude of things, to be honest with you. This person has the potential to really put you in a very poor position, let's put it that way. So Courthouse is coming up, and I really feel like this is talking about agreements again, especially with the Queen of Swords coming up. The Queen of Swords really does talk about agreements, official documents, official documentation, reports, facts and information, you know, things like that. So be careful with the agreements that you're signing. Let's see what else we've got. This is exciting. This is really making me feel like you've actually got something here, Aries. This is really making me feel like, you know, something is manifesting. It's not quite there yet. It is going to get there. You just need to really add that sense of personality to it, okay? And be careful with who you're disclosing information to, because it could be used against you. I'm also hearing disclaimers. Be sure to, if you're providing a service, make sure you've got like public liability insurance, make sure that you've got disclaimers, you know, be very clear in regards to what you can do and what you can't do, that kind of thing. Again, because it could possibly be used against you. So we've got a card of concern here. So you could be concerned about something, okay? So I do feel like this is in relation to this Two of Swords that we were talking about. Whatever it is that you're, you know, avoiding, basically, it's causing a sense of concern, possibly for you, possibly for somebody external to you. I just feel like there's certain things in your life that you're really not wanting to revisit. And this could be a cause for concern because really that, you know, maybe you actually know this, maybe you know that it's almost like there's a part of yourself that you're trying to leave out of this, but it really is that more vulnerable aspect, that more vulnerable quality that's going to bring that sense of authenticity to whatever it is that you're doing. I'm hearing like you could sell snow to Eskimos. So you are maybe somebody that is usually very good at trade and commerce and things like that, communication. You could be dealing with a Virgo, could be dealing with a Gemini, but it's almost like usually you are very good at that. It's almost like I just feel like you're not wanting to speak up about certain things. And it's really taken from this whole experience. I feel like a sense of ego. There's a sense of ego that's getting in the way here, okay? And Spirit's just said, put your money where your mouth is. Like, if this is something that you're developing, this is something that you are passionate about, this is something that's based on your experience and you think that this is helpful, Spirit's saying, put your money where your mouth is, show people how it works, you know, be the ambassador of your creation. You need to be the one, you know, it's almost like no one can explain the benefit of this thing, let's just say, like you can. But in order for you to do that, you need to get a little bit personal and say, look, this is how it affected me. This is what happened to me. You really need to kind of open yourself up. You're struggling with that at the moment with this throat chakra. I kept getting blockages and it's almost like you're struggling to find the words to really reveal your truth, you know, really reveal your just really reveal just how close to you this thing is. Okay, let's just put it that way. It's hard to explain. I'm actually struggling to explain it. So it's almost like there's this sense of unclarity. This is what this Two of Swords is. This is what this concern card's about. You're not really clear yet what this is or what this means for you. There's this sense of clarity that is being lacked, okay? That's really what's concerning, maybe, what's concerning you. It's almost like, right, I know what I need to be doing. I know what it is that I'm trying to sell. I know what it is I'm trying to create. I know what it is I'm trying to manifest. But, and then you get stuck. So it's almost like, it's kind of, how are you going to sell this? How are you going to bottle this up? Do you know what I mean? How are you going to bottle it up and how are you going to distribute it? That's what you're struggling with. It's almost like marketing. I'm hearing marketing. So it's the marketing that's very difficult for you. That may be why you have spread yourself across many different platforms, okay? Or you've got your fingers in lots of different pies. I feel like that might be a cause for concern. It's almost like, okay, so now I'm getting, you're hitting too many. Before I was saying, you're struggling to find that demographic. I'm hearing you're hitting too many. So really try to scale it down a little bit, okay? So maybe try to reduce the amount of people that you interact with. Maybe try to reduce the amount of platforms that you're on. Maybe try to reduce the amount of opinions that of other people, you know, something like that. It's like descaling, like really kind of bring it back to the seed. You know, really think about the authenticity of why this began in the first place. Why is it here? What are you trying to do? We've got a journey showing up. Okay, so some of you could be traveling. Some of you could be traveling for work. Some of you could be traveling in regards to some type of legal situation. You know, maybe somebody's trying to present an opportunity to you. that you may have to travel for, but it's going to be quite the journey. And I'm also hearing hold on to your hats now as well. So I do think that the things are going to take off absolutely in a massive way. You're just at those final stages. Things really need perfected. It's almost like you need to hone in on your skills, really kind of descale a little bit. It's almost like you've gone poof, but then it's almost really hard to find that demographic, like I'm saying, you know, those really important key bits of information in order to keep navigating yourself. Okay, so it's almost like, right, pull it in, rein it in, you know, stick to just one thing, or, you know, focus on just one avenue and see how that develops. If that doesn't work, you know, switch lanes, is what I'm hearing. So I'm going to pull some cards from this deck that I've created. I'm trying to keep these readings to about 30 minutes. I did do a huge reading the other day that was an hour long. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And my camera decided not to record it. So I'm not even going to risk that again. So yeah. So this is good, Aries. You know, I feel like you've just got a few key bits of information to get. You know, you've got to really kind of be serious, getting that serious mindset, getting that, you know, why am I here? What was the reason for this happening? Why did I want to develop this thing in the first place? And really get honest with yourself. And yes, it might be a little bit painful, you know, it might be a little bit harrowing to have to revisit certain things in your life, but if you want to be helpful and you want this situation, you want this thing, whatever it is that you're manifesting to be fruitful for other people, and you want it to help them, then, you know, that's the best thing to do, really. You know, that you no one knows better than you because you've lived it, you've experienced it. So now I think Spirit's asking you to relive it, but relive it from this new mindset, relive it from this new perspective, really go back and say, look, what did I need at that time? You know, is that something that I can recreate for other people? And if so, how am I going to do that? And how should I market it? It's really kind of the final details. The work's been done. Everything's been done. It's almost like you've written the book. You've written the book. You know, you're convinced that it's a good story, let's just say, but it's almost like, right, you know, you need to go to a publisher, you need to present this book and say, and your publisher's asking you questions. Some of it could actually be into writing. Your publisher's asking you questions. So who is this book aimed at? What is it that they will get from this? What's the message that you're trying to convey? It's them type of questions. What do you expect to come from the publishment of this book? You know, things like that. Those are the key bits of information that you really need to clarify. It's almost like a business plan I'm hearing as well. So you may be having to draw up a business plan in order to make this an actual thing. You know, it's you need that business plan. That's what's giving that sense of clarity. I don't think that you've got one at the moment, but that's absolutely, you know, something that needs to be drawn up. Again, that could be the legal document that we were speaking about previously. And again, it kind of does tie into that, you know, be careful who you're speaking to about your ideas. It's almost like you haven't even got a business plan yet. So even though this thing's moving along nicely, solidify it is what I'm trying to say. Solidify it, make it something tangible, make it real. I do think that you're working on that. I just feel like you're a little bit distracted at the moment. Whatever it is that's distracting you, try to remove all distractions from around you. Okay, try to get rid of all those distractions. Okay, so my heart is not a pincushion. So this could be in regards to the past. Okay, this could be these difficult situations that you've had to endure. My heart is not a pincushion really speaks to, again, these situations that you've dealt with in the past that were just really painful. You don't want to relive them. You don't want to find yourself reliving those situations. And I think it's because when we do that, sometimes we feel weak. We feel, you know, it's okay living day to day to day to day, going about our daily business. But then when we reflect back on some of those, you know, more painful, difficult times in our life, it kind of fills us with this sense of weakness or this sense of vulnerability that we just don't like to, think that it's a part of us, but it absolutely is. I feel like Spirit's basically saying in those moments of vulnerability, that's where the truth lies, that's where the authenticity lies. You know, that's it. You know, you really kind of need to reassess those situations, but you're doing it from a new perspective. Just because you're revisiting doesn't mean that you're reliving. I I think that's important to say. You're not reliving it. You're kind of extracting the truths from it that needs to be extracted. It's almost like you're trying to sell a dream. So really be honest with yourself. Really kind of dig deep. I'm hearing dig deep. So there could be a need to heal as well. You know, if this is a situation that you're avoiding, there could be a need to heal a little bit more from it. And then that's really when things are going to start taking off for you. I'm spinning plates at the minute. So again, this is what I'm getting with this Two of Pentacles that showed up in your pre-shuffle. It's almost like you're doing a lot. You've got a lot of fingers in a lot of pies. Descale. Remember why it is you did this in the first place. You know, really go back to that seed, that first idea that really made you think, right, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. Really kind of, you know, it's very easy to get bogged down in the weight of everything. So really kind of go back to the beginning, you know, really kind of, what I'm trying to say here, it's almost like not starting off on a blank page, but, you know, it's almost like rereading the book from the very beginning and refresh yourself. You know, it's almost like a remembrance. Remember what you've been through. Remember how far you've come, because that's really going to be that catapult, that catalyst to get this thing off the ground, or to really kind of project. I'm hearing like project. You need to project this. It's all good and well having it, but how are you going to project it? You know, how are you going to make people listen? How are you going to make people raise an awareness? How are you going to raise an awareness if you're struggling to communicate, you're struggling to speak? You really need to descale, you know, level down, not level down, tone it down, okay? Really kind of, you know, when people say find your niche, it's almost like that. Find your niche, find that USP, that unique selling point. You know, what is it that you're going to push? What is it that you're trying to fix? Because that's what's going to draw people in. That's what's going to bring in the pennies, because 10 of Pentacles did show up. So, you know, there could be a lot of money gained from this. There could be a lot. And again, look, is this too good to be true? That's confirmation that, you know, there's good things that can come from this. You're not going to believe it. I really feel like you need to put yourself out there. I really feel like you need to have faith in the universe. I feel like you really need to have faith in yourself. I'm hearing that you're not going to be laughed at. You know, people are not going to laugh at you. People are not going to ridicule you. They're not going to, you know, at the end of the day, if it's something that's internet-based, you know, you can't. There's always going to be trolls. There's always going to be people that try to piss on your bonfire, especially if you're doing better than them. There's always going to be haters. Don't let that hold you back from anything. You know, it's almost like don't let embarrassment hold you back. You know, people make mistakes. I mean, I trip up over my words all the time on these videos, but it doesn't matter. Really what you're here for is to listen to the message, listen to what I'm speaking, use it as guidance, use it as a catalyst for you to, you know, carry on down that path. We all make mistakes, and I really feel like by revisiting the mistakes that you've made, that's really going to add that bit of zest to this, whatever it is you're creating. It's gonna give it that really, it's like a real vibe. It's almost like, yeah, this person's real. You know, I'm going to invest in them because they're real. Like what they're speaking speaks to me. I'm feeling them. That's kind of it. That's what it is. But if you're avoiding certain aspects of yourself, certain aspects of your journey, certain aspects of your personality, that message isn't going to come through. So you're really being asked to let your guard down. You're really being asked to really open up, okay, and project yourself. I'm hearing like, don't hold back. I actually got this in a 1-card spread the other day. It's almost like now is not the time to back down. You know, there's going to be loads of people that oppose you, but you are going to, at the end of the day, you're going to be the one saying, yeah, but I did it for me. I didn't do it to please everybody. I didn't do it to, you know, grow this massive following or whatever. I did it because this is what I'm passionate about. This is, you know, I believe that this can help people. I believe. It's almost like you've been asked to believe, have faith, make sure that you maintain that level of optimism, because there is victory here. It's almost like I'm hearing as well that you're going to really be showing people, you know, all the times that they maybe bad-mouthed you, all the times that they ridiculed you and talked shit on your name and threw shade on you, you are going to be showing them what it is that you're actually capable for. So that's really, really exciting. That's a good reading. I just think that there needs to be a little bit healing, you know, a little bit more digging, a little bit more soul work, that kind of stuff. But this situation is going to go somewhere, so you need to keep the faith. You know, Aries could be a little bit impulsive, and they do like things to happen overnight. I do feel like you've been working on this thing for a while now. I do feel like it's very, very well put together. You just need to project it, and you need to add a little bit of yourself, a little bit of personality, a little bit of zest, a little bit of je ne sais quoi, if you want to put it that way. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's what I've got for you, Aries. I'm going to leave it there because, like I said, these readings are getting on a little bit. I don't want to lose the whole reading. If you want a personal reading, then all my information is below. But until next time, Aries, I'll see you soon.